Okay, so it's the time of COVID, so A, there's probably noise, and B, welcome to my bedroom. Flexion and extension. So it's pretty clear for a lot of people that this is flexion, but it is key to know that it is flexion of the forearm or the elbow. Most situations you can call it either. The moving body part is the forearm. The joint that is flexing is the elbow. So as the forearm moves towards the arm, forearm, this is flexion of the elbow or forearm. Now flexion is the decreasing of the angle. So as you see, as I flex, this angle decreases. This is extension, the enlarging of the angle. Now that's like pretty simple for the forearm. Trickier parts are other parts of the body. So I think the thigh is the next easiest. I'm going to stand on this and hopefully not fall. So flexion of the thigh is when the angle between your thigh and your trunk decreases. So this is flexion of the thigh. Ignore what's happening with my leg. Thigh, leg. Flexion of the thigh, extension of the thigh. So as this angle decreases, flexion. As it increases, extension. Now, the leg is probably the next easiest. I'm going to try and stand on my toes and not fall off my stool. Oh my god. Okay, so with my thigh flexed, I'm going to show you, right now my leg's just hanging, right? So remember, leg, thigh. If I kick my leg out the way that you would kick a soccer ball, that is extension, because this angle here is growing. As I draw it back towards my thigh, that is flexion, because the angle is decreasing. So when we sort of lift up to do this, we are flexing both the thigh and the leg. As I kick forward, my thigh's flexed, but my leg is extended. So that is lower body. You also have plantar flexion, which is when you stand up on your toes. And then you have dorsiflexion, which is when your toes kind of lift towards your shins. So that's lower body. Now arm, I think more difficult. So we talked about flexion of the elbow, but if we talk about flexion at the shoulder, or flexion of the arm, because remember arm, forearm, flexion of the arm is going to be a decrease of this angle. So this is flexion, and this is extension. And you do have hyperextension, which can happen at the shoulder and at the hip. So flexion, extension. Because that angle is getting smaller here and wider or larger here. So flexion and extension of the shoulder. You have flexion of the head or neck, and you have extension. You have lateral trunk flexion, and you have just regular trunk flexion. So that is flexion and extension.